Top of the morning, ladies. My name is Jez, and welcome to the What If Zuko Had a Evil Sister. So, in this What If, is kind of like fan, but hey, it's just how it is. So, now, and let's start with them being born. Or, yeah. So, instead of like just Zuko getting born, it was like Zumi and Zuko. They both. So, they really played along with each other and with Bakugo. So, yeah. And when they hit the age of 4, the Quark Doctor, where is he? He has basically told Zumi that she has her parents' via telepathic thing. And Zuko gets, well, he doesn't have a quirk, but he has a power that's forged inside of his entire body. Or let's say his entire body is his quirk. So, yeah. But the doctor didn't know that part yet. So, then when they were walking, and they both, or actually, Zumi told Zuko that she's gonna hang out with her friends. As he says, okay, and don't be late, okay? Yeah, and this is the beginning part. So, then when her and her friends were just hanging out and like walking around, and some random portal opens up underneath her. And it was the one that's the warp guy that's right behind the. So, yeah, 2, all for 1. Yeah, and he manipulated her, or like change her like memories around to making her look like or think like a bad guy, and all that stuff. As Inko was crying because she couldn't believe that her honor just disappeared. As Zuko is more shocked because he told her that to show up back here, back at the house. So then, a couple weeks have passed, or a couple of years have passed. Their both birthdays were on the same day. So, yeah. Then Zuko, it's a time skip, so they both reached 15. He went to UA and she joined the League of Villains. And yeah, Zuko was a little bit like shocked. So yeah. So when he did like, I mean, he did get one for all, but the so he punched the like he does. I'm skipping the robot thing in the written part because he got first place on it. He broke a world's record or school's record for being the highest one of like passing all my everybody, even the future ones can't even. So yeah. So then everyone congratulates him. Then now the hold on. Sorry about that. The had to cough real bad. So the it was just but one no two people could sense his aura. You could see one of them. It's actually Momo and Todoroki could sense a weird aura coming off of Zuko's entire body. Like someone just as they're thinking, is it a quirk? Or is it the something else? No matter. As so I'm skipping the or like ball throw and heroes versus villains. Now USJ. And of course she was at or like she was one of those villains. So yeah. Or when they were like on a bus talking the one of them or actually it was um like him, the one that's in the yellow. So he tells or he asks Zuko about what's going on with you, boy. Or actually, when during the heroes versus villains, his body started to shake as he like so he went like full on like when he slammed his fist against the ground then the Bakugo and Speedster was tied up. As he also took their powers. As it was Ochako rode the back of him, and when he went, there was nothing holding him back. As he's or before he says, I'm still good. Okay? So that's what he was asking. I don't know. I have been having these weird, how will I put them? Weird quirks things. It feels like my entire body's made out of, quirks. As they see his entire arm turned into, Redhead's hardening quirk. Dude, what the heck? How did you do that? I don't know how I did that. As it was, so he's calmed down. He's okay. So when they arrived, he could sense his sisters is nearby. Because his sister was always been so kind-hearted. So, next, when they got introduced, when they do the same thing. So, Eraserhead tells 13 and to protect the students. As his sister, or actually, Zuko looked at his sister and says, "What's wrong with you, sister?" As she says, "Oh, nothing much, big brother. After all, you should have known. You're so dang quirkless." Yes. After all, we're here to kill All Might and the rest of you. And you know their favorite games. As her voice has been, he could tell that his sister's being manipulated, being controlled. As his eyes turned into Mr. Aizawa's. As he uses it, as they couldn't believe that one of the villains is his sister. As the handyman says, which, or actually, his sister says, "What's wrong, little brother? You can't control your powers? Huh. Or maybe you're too stubborn to use it." So, or actually, she doesn't say that. She says, "Huh, what's wrong? All this pressure's going to your head." As, yeah, she was like lying to him, or about like no one truly cares about him, and because he's quirkless and all that stuff. As because he got with his sister he was so like tearing up, he became, yeah, so his entire body, or he actually went all out, like basically, or that's not even his at 100%. That's only at 0.1%. Yeah. He basically went and slaughtered every villain except for his sister, and he destroyed the entire USJ. He says, "Why did you have to join their sign?" As a giant like mountain was he was holding over his head as he threw it. As Mr. Aizawa and Class 1A students saw how powerful he would get, and he went, grabbed his sister's thing, her, or him, or no, her, and like did that. Hunt to his sister all the way across the entire city. No, across the entire like USJ. As, yeah, like she got knocked out. As like if she had her eyes open, she could see his angriest face staring right at her soul. But Mr. Aizawa and Class 1A students, "Calm down, Zuku. Calm down. We're all here for you." it was actually Mr. Aizawa. From them. As he couldn't believe that his own sister when their team was forced. So then, yeah. So she was wearing like that, opposite to Zuku's regular colors. So, yeah. He says, don't know what's wrong with her. Or, so, I'll make sure that no one... Sorry, man, that be... So, where were we? Oh, yeah. So when... after all that, power thing, or everyone notices that their quirks are acting up. Every time he goes, super berserk. Endeavor could feel his flames getting hotter on her. Blinding light thing. And the Nezu could feel his powers rising to dangerous levels. As they told him, as when Mr. Aizawa calms him down, because he could feel that his quirks rising. And yeah. So he got on his knees and starts tearing up. And he's in the ground. Yeah. So, as he uses his power before of know who was manipulating her, and after USJ, and All Might went and asked him who was the one that as Zuko, who tells All Might that, and Nezu, because Nezu and All Might were walking together, or actually was at Inko's and Doria's house. So yeah, they were talking, and All Might brought up a question to Zuko of the who was it that you saw? as Inko went and go ahead, tell them. At first, or this is what he says. At first, I saw my sister right in front of me, but then the image changed, and I saw him. The one that steals quirks and gives them all for one. And as All Might, he was shocked when he heard that he could. So, as Nezu's like, huh, interesting. Interesting. As, yeah, he. Plus, there's more. As Zuko says, there's more. I could feel his. He watched over us from the security cameras. As in. At USJ. Like he just hacked into the USJ security cams and watched the entire fight. And All Might's like, and, huh. And plus, they both like were like, huh, if if All for One is doing that, it must be that to perform, like, as now at the villains, as All for One says, good job, Zumi. You might get all for one, like your brother has one for all. So, and speaking of your brother, he might be the one that can join us more than anyone else. So they grabbed a small group. And like after a sports festival and internships thing. And every night when he goes to like sleep, he sees her face. Like, come on, big brother, huh? As you help me with this and that. You help me with this, huh? As he always says, sure. So, yeah. So then he sees his sister as he's more like every night he wakes up as he clenches his fist no matter what it takes. Or bring you back. As yeah, so as every night or when she gets up, she always sees him like up and at him thing. As she tells her that it's just all that. So, yeah. She still keeps her quirk, it's just her memories got changed. Like, or actually, she got manipulated. So, yeah. So, after the Smart Festival and internship, him as, yeah, he got so much like that. I. So, yeah. He basically like when he saw his sister standing, or actually the warp guy warped Zuko during the internship thing to right to her, and she was just standing there at first as she tells him that only way to, or actually we're here to make you turn into a villain. As the villain or Nomus, or they see him as he says, "What do you want?" That's easy. I want, or actually, my master wants you to join the League of Villains, like what I have. As if not, your friends down there will get killed. As he grins, you see me as quirkless, little sister. As, yeah. But the doctor didn't tell us that it was actually my entire body's made out of it. So he like says, as he glows, as he uses all of his rage and Lang, he says, "I will make sure you come back. If that's the last thing I do." As she says, "Oh well, fight against me." yeah, when she became like dark, she still had a sense of humor, but not too much. So he says, huh, as he tells, before we fight, is it all for one that is controlling you, like manipulating you? How did you know about that? Or actually, she says, no one's manipulating me. As he uses his adult voice, as he says, you always chose the good side. I always asked you that if you wanted to be a hero or a villain. You always chose to be a hero, no matter what. But now you're a villain. It's what happened to my little sister that I used to know. Oh, as sorry about that. My hey, so he or his sister couldn't believe that he's using like his parents' voice. And as yeah, as he's getting angrier and angrier. As she's in her head, she thinks, if I get him mad enough, he'll probably. So, yeah, he basically. Todoroki went and used, like, his ice. As he told Zuko that he needs to calm down. Calm down, Zuko. Calm down. She's just trying to manipulate you. How will I manipulate my own brother? Huh? After all, he told, or we already told you at the USJ he was quirkless. Why do you guys still? And yeah, Todoroki says he's not quirkless. Has this unique power. I can sense it in all the way around his entire body. Basically, well, that's okay, but I'll make sure that as thousands of Nomus comes out of nowhere and attacks, but he slaughtered them all. So yeah, then the next day, or actually, Endeavor went and told Todoroki, okay, to actually to keep you or watchful eye on Zuko, okay, because I'm afraid that he'll probably be one that ends us all. So, yeah. All for One's like, huh, okay. Good job. But your brother, he is kind of stubborn, isn't he? Yeah, but he's quite intelligent when it comes to his friends or his family. Huh. Well, let's capture them all and force him to destroy the entire or actually he didn't think about his possibility of his survival or everyone's survival was at 100% chance of getting killed. So yeah, he never thought about that part. As because so then the next day all his friends and like yeah his friends at school aren't no everybody got kidnapped as he walked into school. That's just weird. As he sees her as she says, huh, guess your friends are kidnapped by us. As he turns and looks at her, saying, sorry about that, so it was pretty, like, dark. So he sees her and tells her, why did you have to kidnap friends, or our friends, our family? As he was the only one that didn't get captured. As his sister says, well, it's your choice. Join us or they will die. As you forgot the third option, too. As you forgot that as only person that really survives that explosion thing would be Zuko. So, yeah. So he was like, what do you mean? Oh, huh. You forgot that all of you guys, or all of us, will die. When you threaten my friends and I Now, you know why I keep my cool, sister? It's because as he like does that, he basically went full on Super Saiyan. Like, he basically destroyed the entire Japan. Or no, he destroyed the entire world. Because of his rage. As he looked around and he sees nothing, and like, so he was tearing up. He couldn't believe that it's his fault. Everything was his fault. Oh. As his one tear brought the entire world back. Like, it rewinded to as he was on his knees, as he tells his sister, this is why, or actually before that, or actually, then went and told him that his body's made out of his own power of the entire universe, multiverse, everything. It's been forged in your body. So you can, it's not a quirk, but it's your power. You were born with this gift. I'm very proud of you. So then that happened. As he went back onto his knees, as he says, as he smiles, as she's kind of like creeped out because she never seen her brother smile like that before. So he says, you should have chose like the third option, or as he went all Super Saiyan, as he flies all the way to him and slamming his entire fist against him, like. So yeah, as he says, I know that it was you that manipulated my sister to becoming a villain. So, as his glowing aura, as ever, basically, he didn't, or actually, All For One says, yes, I did. And it was, instead of having a camp park, And instead of all for one against All Might, it was all for one against Zuko. Well, we all know who would win. Zuko. Yeah. So Zuko, who was told him that he needs to undo my sister's as he did that, as she went back from being the villain back to his cute little sister self. So yeah, so now, you really need to, because you think you're so high and mighty. This is what Zuko is saying to All for One. You think you're so high and mighty that you just take quirks away from everyone that was born with it and gives it to others that don't need it. So let me tell you something. As he was mad, he basically, they could tell, or if he's mad, because of their quirks. As, yeah, Nezu says, you guys really did it now. As villains are like, what do you mean? You think All Might's the toughest person? Or powerfulest one? Well, after we met, or actually, it was Bakugo that says that. Is that you think All Might's the toughest, or no, powerfulest one? You'll be dead wrong if there's actually a most overpowered one is Zuko Midoriya. As one of the villains are like, probably he's right, because All Might never, when he gets mad, he never gives us our, power boost things. So, yeah. All Might, he's like, Plus, he actually, he told, or he basically asked his, because his powers are he can shapeshift into them, and so he says, you must be number 8 or number 9. So yeah, Zuko says, yeah, but if you all want to join me in this battle, go right ahead. If you, as he looked at One for All, or the first user of it, and so he basically, against your brother, All for One. As, yeah. So they all agreed, and a full power. As All for One says, guess my little brother comes out. So sadly you will die. As, yeah. as he went full on berserk mode. Like, absolutely no holding back. He straight up kills all for one. And in about, sorry, I can't talk. In about blink of an eye, he, like, one blink, he was dead. Like, his quirk got ripped out, and like, it was too bloody. Like, as he flies around and he sees, or he teleports right in front of where they were holding everyone hostage. So, as he slaughtered, like straight up slaughtered all the villains to a point of gruesome. Like, he grabs a key, opens it. Come on out. As they're like, holy crud. As he was at that point. So he, no, and his sister is more worried about him. As she wasn't wearing, or actually she was wearing this, but she's more of the, like, so she says, huh, good job, big brother. And calm down, too. I finally know what I was born with. Or actually, when he goes, or when they all went back to their house and all that stuff, Nezu went and asked Zuko of what happened. As he says, I don't want to talk about it. Or actually, it was All Might. As he says, it's too gruesome. As he flies over and he sees, or actually, All for One sees a corpse, or no, a skeleton of All for One. Like, meat, blood, his own quirk, it all, like, was surrounding him. And it looked like someone just, as All for One, and it's like, or of course, he says, I couldn't, and use my full power. Or I couldn't control myself because of. So, yeah. All for One forgave him, but that's, as he looks at UA, as he says, that's why I wanted to go to UA, to keep my powers in check from ever losing control. As it was so, like, disturbing, no one even wanted to look at it a second time. So, yeah, he came back. As Nezu tells that they'll roll in Zumi. As they're like, okay. Or as long as she's with the same class as her brother, that's because they. So, yeah. So then. It's creepy, yes. Oh, I reached 1 hour mark. So, bye bye. Peace out.